This isn't some corporate lackey taking the whole corporate line. I'm paying attention and I'm reading the tea leaves and I'm telling you what it is. You can either listen or not. Facebook turned to, let go of over 10,000 people, if I remember correctly. Didn't Amazon let go of thousands of people, y'all? Am I correct in saying that, Ashley? Sumatra, Gav, am I correct in saying that? Amazon laid off thousands. Facebook laid off thousands. Okay? Netflix had its purge a while back. What do you think was going to happen? See, all of these folks that are fainting, I'm not talking about the people who will let go. My heart and my compassion, I've been there. And for me, it was different, by the way. They were let go because of cuts. I was fired. And when I was fired, I was damn near blackballed because the message was sent, this is not somebody you want to work with. I didn't know if I'd ever have a career again. That's entirely different than being able to go to a prospective employer and saying, I was just a part of cuts and layoffs. You're not being besmirched when that happens. I was besmirched. I don't know by whom, but that was the overall message that was being received by the public. I'm telling you, today is different. It's a numbers game. It's about revenue and ratings. Revenue being paramount at Disney. Why? COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen. The pandemic. Don't you remember the parks being closed? You don't know how much money is generated from the parks? In Anaheim? In Florida? In France? In Shanghai? Tokyo? COVID-19, the coronavirus pandemic, was not just in the United States of America. It was worldwide. You have any idea how much money was lost? How about the movies? Now you go to the movies. You take your girl or your wife. If you're married with children, you take them. If you're not married but you got children, you take them. If you want to go see it twice, you got to pay twice. Not just for entry to the movies, but for the popcorn and the soda and the candy and everything like that. But streaming, you get to order it once and watch it as many times as you want to without having to go to the theater. Why do you think Disney said we've lost $5.5 billion? I understand transgender issues and the LGBTQ community has its things that it wants addressed. No shade on that whatsoever. I'm a black man. I stand with you. I'm not for prejudice against anyone. The flip side, however, is when you had folks boycotting or protesting outside the walls of Disney because they wanted Disney to speak up about the don't say gay policy. Sure, you speak up. It's the right thing to do. No problem. But you knew DeSantis would come back. You knew folks on the right who supported him and supported that ideology would speak out. You knew eventually that could potentially have a detrimental impact on Disney's bottom line. Again, not these people who will let go. I'm only talking numbers. I'm bringing in a plethora of things that affects your bottom line as a business. Budweiser's going through it because of the transgender person, Mulvaney, that they had on one of its cans. They talked about how much money they're losing. Chick-fil-A got into a controversy because they got a bit political and people think that it's going to affect them. You've got folks on other side of the ideology that galvanize and speak out against such positions. And how do they exact revenge and retribution upon you? By affecting your bottom line. That's business. I assure you, as God is my witness, if Disney didn't lose $5.5 billion, Jeff Van Gundy wouldn't be gone. David Pollock wouldn't be gone. Todd McShay and Jalen Rose and Neil Everett and others wouldn't be gone. More cuts wouldn't be on the way. Following the cuts behind the scenes, I didn't bring up the producers and the editors and all of these wonderful people that I work with that lost their jobs. Or those who are still there that are worried as hell they're going to lose theirs because they see the climate. They see the climate. And then everybody wants to come along. Oh, Stephen A., I mean, please stop it. Don't be a capitalist. Don't bring up corporate America again. Why? How you paying your bills? How you paying your bills? Take your time. Answer the question. I'll wait. How are you paying your bills? See, we want to talk, but we don't want to be practical. We don't want to make sense. We want to be emotional. Folks lamented how folks are being laid off, but Pat McAfee arrived at ESPN. Pat McAfee wasn't hired by ESPN. Pat McAfee was acquired by ESPN via the Pat McAfee Show. He had a product that he built through his grit, his hard work, his determination, his focus, his brilliance, and he turned it in to a $120 million deal that was once given to him by FanDuel. ESPN acquired that business. He's not an employee. He's a product that was acquired. I would know because I'm an employee who's trying to become a product. That is the world that we're living in. Y'all listen to who y'all want to. I want to listen to Jay-Z. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. That's my aspiration. That's what Pat McAfee achieved. It's what Colin Cowherd achieved. It's what Dan Patrick achieved. It's what Joe Rogan achieved. It's what Bill Simmons achieved. Are you paying attention? That's what's going on. You want to look at corporate America and treat them like they're villains in all of this. They are who they've always been. Numbers crunchers. Bottom line. Revenue. Ratings. Stockholders. Shareholders. Are you feeding the beast to make sure you stay alive? No matter where you turn, politics, medicine, pharmaceutical, technology, education, even the streets of America with unsavory characters who are breaking laws to do it. Everything comes down to business. Everything comes down to business. If we don't get it, we better get it. And we could sit up there and we could go back and forth and we could, go off and stick out our chest and act like we're going to be defiant. We're going to be defiant. We're going to be defiant. It's not good enough. We could kill each other in the streets of America. Ain't good enough because you ain't going to kill everybody. Business is going to always take place as long as this world is in existence. Now, that world might come to the end with the nonsense that's going on in this world with Russia having more nuclear heads than the United States and us being the two largest, countries that have nuclear warheads and China trying to do its thing with Taiwan and all of this other stuff. We don't know what the hell is going on. I only bring that last part up because I watched 60 Minutes on Sunday night. Everywhere we turn, there's problems. We don't know what's going to happen to the world. But it's about business. And I'll close by saying this. You know, one of my favorite things, and I told Jay-Z this, I watch because I'm a huge fan. It's my brother with friends. I got love for him, but he's so brilliant. I just listen to his music sometimes, but one of my favorite things that he used to say, or that he said one day while he was freestyling, I held on to. He said, you know brothers die for equal pay, right? You know when I work, I ain't your slave, right? You know I ain't shucking the job in and high-fiving. You know this ain't back in the days, right? Giving the impression times have damn sure changed. And to some degree, he's right. But as things change, they remain the same when stuff goes bad. Times are bad right now. And that's why you see stuff reverting back to old times. You can look at policies, you can look at Supreme Court rulings, or you could take this latest example of corporate America. Disney ain't the only one making cuts. They ain't the first and they ain't going to be the last. And it ain't the first time it's happened. It's been happening for years. There's been recessions. There's been inflation. There's been all of this going on. There's been depression. In the 1930s to 2008, when Obama first took office, he inherited one. It's not going away. All you can do is make sure you pay attention to what's going on so you can do the best that you possibly can do to avert it from squeezing the life out of you. That is reality. That is what has happened. And if I am lucky enough to be immune from it now, that does not mean that will be the case tomorrow. The only difference between now compared to 2009 is that I won't be blindsided. I'll see it coming. Can you say the same? Can you say the same? Only if you're paying attention.